What is Martin Luther King Jr. Day? Written by Margot Parker, illustrated by Matthew Bates. Hi, Janet. Hi, Amy. Hi, Daniel, Ben shouted. Tomorrow is a holiday, and I'm going ice skating. Want to come? Brr, shivered Amy. I'm going to stay in my warm house. No, thank you, Daniel said. Janet and I are going to march in a parade. A parade? What kind of parade? Asked Amy. Amy, don't you know why we have a holiday tomorrow? Asked Janet. I think, said Ben, it's about some king. Oh, I remember now. It's to honor a king named Martin. No, it's because we're honoring a famous man named Martin Luther King Jr. He wasn't a king, but King was his last name, said Daniel. What made him so famous? Asked Ben. Recess is over, said Janet. We'd better hurry back to class. But I want to know more about Martin Luther King, exclaimed Amy. So do I, said Ben. Daniel smiled. Come over to our house after school, and I'll tell you all about this great man. Okay, we'll see you later, said Amy. When Martin Luther King Jr. was a little boy, Daniel began, he lived in a big 2-story house in the city of Atlanta, Georgia. Martin Luther King Jr. was born in this house in Atlanta, Georgia. Martin's father was the minister of the Ebenezer Baptist Church. He taught his children to treat all people fairly. The Ebenezer Baptist Church is in Atlanta. But as Martin grew older, he began to notice that all people were not treated the way his father had taught him. The King family, standing from left to right, Alberta Williams King, Martin Luther King Sr., Mrs. Jeannie Williams, Martin's grandmother, sitting from left to right, Alfred Daniel King, Christina King, and young Martin Luther King Jr. He especially noticed that African Americans were treated differently. How were Black people treated differently? Asked Amy. Black people had to use different drinking fountains and different restrooms, replied Daniel. Black children could not go to school with white children. Black people had to sit in the back of the bus. Some states had laws that said Black people could not sit next to white people on buses. They couldn't eat where they wanted, and they couldn't get the kinds of jobs they wanted. When Martin went to college, he learned about a man from India who said that all people are the same, no matter what they look like. The man from India also believed that people could change unfair laws peacefully. In college, Martin Luther King Jr. learned about Mahatma Gandhi of India. Gandhi, pictured on the right, did not believe in violence. He said that people could change laws by holding peaceful demonstrations. Martin also believed this could be done. He had an idea about how he could help change things so that all people would be treated the same. Martin's idea was that the change would take place peacefully. without fighting. He taught that all people have equal rights to equal treatment under the law, said Daniel. What does equal mean? Asked Amy. Equal means the same, said Ben. And these equal rights are called civil rights, said Daniel. Public marches and peaceful demonstrations were held throughout the United States. Dr. King and other black leaders worked hard to change the laws. So Dr. King led peaceful marches in many cities where laws needed changing. Martin Luther King Jr. left, and the Reverend Ralph Abernathy Wright led many civil rights marches. Coretta Scott King, above, marched with her husband Martin. In Alabama, thousands of people joined Dr. King on the march from Selma to Montgomery. In August of 1963, Dr. King led the biggest civil rights march of all to Washington, D.C., the capital of the United States of America. When he stood before the great crowd, he said, "I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with white boys and white girls and walk together as sisters and brothers." Thousands gathered in front of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., and heard Dr. King deliver his famous "I Have a Dream" speech. Many Americans agreed with Dr. King, but some did not. They tried to keep him from leading the marches. Sometimes Dr. King became discouraged, but he decided to keep on working for his dream. In December of 1964, he was honored by being given the Nobel Peace Prize. "What's the Nobel Peace Prize?" asked Ben. "It's a large amount of money given to someone who has worked hard for peace," answered Daniel. Dr. King did not keep the prize money. He gave it to some other people who had worked with him for peace. He continued to go to other cities to help black people gain their rights. In April 1968, he went to Memphis, Tennessee to help get better working conditions for the city's garbage collectors. One evening, while he was in Memphis, Dr. King stepped outside his motel room. This photograph showing Dr. King standing on the balcony of his Memphis motel was taken the day before Dr. King was shot. From left to right, Hosea Williams, Jesse Jackson, Dr. King, and Ralph Abernathy. A man who hated him was hiding across the street with a rifle. When the man saw Dr. King, he shot and killed him. A farm wagon pulled by 2 mules was used to carry the coffin of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. More than 50,000 people attended Dr. King's funeral in Atlanta, Georgia. Many people in America who loved Dr. King found it hard to believe that someone had killed him. They wanted to help continue his dream by remembering his birthday as a national holiday. It took a long time, but 15 years after he died, Congress voted to begin this holiday in 1986. This simple headstone marks Dr. King's grave. Martin Luther King Jr. was born in 1929. He died in 1968. The man who killed Dr. King was sentenced to 99 years in prison. Martin Luther King's birthday is on January 15th, said Janet, but each year we celebrate it on the third Monday in January. Just think, Ben said, if Dr. King had not worked so hard, we might not be going to the same school, and you might not be my friend. But Dr. King did a lot, said Daniel. But there are still many people who don't like other people because they are different. We still have work to do. I don't think I want to go skating tomorrow after all, said Ben. Could I come and march in the parade with you? I don't want to stay home either, said Amy. Is it all right if I come with you? Daniel and Janet smiled. By marching together, we will be keeping Dr. King's dream alive. Epilogue. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was married to Coretta Scott King. They had 4 children. He became leader of the modern civil rights movement that made the United States government fulfill promises of equality, justice, and freedom to all of its citizens. Dr. King so moved the conscience of the nation that far-reaching civil rights laws were enacted nationally and in every state. The United States Congress proclaimed the third Monday in January a national holiday in honor of Dr. King. Hello, friends. I hope you enjoyed our story today. If you did, please click like and share this book with your friends. And don't forget to look for all the other books by Storytime with Lorelei. See you next time. Bye for now.